So hi guys and welcome to another session of basic accounting terms. We had done a lot of terms in accounts and your learning of the terms will not easily get over because every time you learn a new term, you learn a new concept, okay, it will go on and on. This is a learning process. This is a process where you will absorb many things. So this is Vishwanath Jatan for you. And a very good day to all of you all. And I will be continuing with your basic accounting terms from where I last left. The first term which I am going to take today is depreciation. Okay, depreciation. D-E-P-R-E-C-I-A-T-I-O-N. This is depreciation for you. Now, what does the meaning of what does the word depreciation mean? Okay. Now, if you see most of the words which starts with D, okay, like down, decline, deplete, okay, that means the value is going down. Okay, the value is going down. So, what exactly value is going down? We have got basically two types of assets. Okay, the two types of assets which you have got is, I would now go to fixed assets and current assets. Fixed assets and current assets. But I would like to focus basically on your fixed assets. Your fixed assets is divided into two. The first one is tangible, which you can touch, and the other is known as intangible. Intangible is the one which you cannot touch. Okay? So, talking about this tangible and giving you certain examples of tangible assets is machinery, land, building, equipment, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, when the value of these fixed tangible assets fall, it's known as depreciation. So, depreciation in layman's term is fall in value of fixed tangible assets. Okay, the word fixed and tangible are very important. Okay, because when the value of an intangible asset falls, it's known as amortization. Right now what we are doing is depreciation. So what is depreciation? The fall in the value of fixed tangible assets. You shall do this as the chapter later on also, and there are various methods of depreciation which you are going to learn. Right now I'll just write down the methods. It's not important for you to remember it right now. One is known as the straight line method. And the other is known as written down value method. Okay, the straight line method and the written down value method. The written down value method is also known as the reducing balance method. So just having a brief recap about what which term we did. The term which we did was depreciation. What is depreciation? Depreciation is the fall in the value of fixed tangible assets. It's a fall in the value of fixed tangible assets. Okay, I hope you've understood the term. Depreciation is a fall in the value. Now from depreciation I go to the next term, and the next term is known as entity. Entity. Okay, so basic word entity comes from another word which is known as identity. Okay, so entity basically means what you are. Okay, so it's very important in business that when we recognize this term called entity, that the business is a different person and the owner is a different person. So here the business is a separate entity, is a separate person by itself. The business has got a separate identity, and the owner who has started the business is another identity altogether. Okay, so whenever you are doing your accounts, which I will time and often remind you again, you shall be focusing on the accounts of the business, not the accounts of the owner. Okay, because when you are doing your accounts, you will be thinking from the business point of view and not from the owner's point of view. Okay, so this is entity. Entity basically means the person has got his own identity. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word entity. And remember, whenever we are selling goods, buying goods, paying money, receiving money, we have to think from the point of view of the business and not from the point of view of the owner. Okay, so this was your second term, entity. My first term which we discussed was depreciation. The second term what we discussed was entity. Okay, from here we go to the next term. The next term which we write is, or which we will discuss, is known as entry. Okay. Now, don't confuse this word entry with entering in. Okay, it's not that. Entry here basically means that everything, whatever happens in accounts, you have to make a note of it. When you make a note of it, that is known as an entry. Okay, and we had earlier learned that it's going to be a dual concept. That means every debit will have a corresponding credit. Okay, there will be always a dual aspect. There will be two things which will be going on simultaneously. So your accounts can be verified because of this. So what is the meaning of entry? Entry here will basically mean that whatever transactions which takes place in a business, you are going to make an entry of it. You are going to note it down in your books. Your first book which you will note down will be known as your journal. Okay, from your journal you will transfer it to the other books, which is your ledger. Then of course you prepare a trial balance from your ledger, and then you prepare the final accounts of the business. Okay, your final accounts, it's trading account, profit and loss account, and your balance sheet. Okay, so the entry will be there throughout. It will always start first with the journal and carry on to the subsequent books. So this is entry for you. So what have we done so far? We have discussed three terms. When we started off, we discussed depreciation, which is a fall in the value of the fixed tangible asset. Then we discussed what is known as entity. Entity means everyone has got their own identity. The business is a separate person, while as the owner is a separate person. And every aspect we have to think from the business point of view and not from the owner's point of view. And right now we discuss entry. Entry basically means to note down every transaction which happens in your business or in your enterprise. From here onwards, I go to the next term, which is known as insolvent. In plain terms, a person who is insolvent does not have a money to pay back his debts. Okay? In accounting terms, a person is told to be an insolvent person if his liabilities are greater than the assets. If his liabilities are greater than the assets, that means he doesn't have enough money to pay off his liabilities, and he intentionally or unintentionally is unable to pay. So that is known as insolvent. Okay, and when a person goes through this process, he is known as insolvency. We had discussed an earlier term which was known as bad debts. Okay, so a person who undergoes who cannot pay and his bad debts are accumulated, he's surely going to be an insolvent person. Opposite of insolvent is of course solvent, where your assets are greater than your liability and you're in a comfortable position to pay off everyone. Okay, so again I'm taking another brief recap of what we are doing. I'm repeating these terms again and again because these terms have to go right into your head and you should not have any doubts in regarding to each of these basic accounting terms. So we did so far today was depreciation, entity, entry and insolvent. Okay, we come to the next term now from here. The next term from here is proprietor. The next term here is proprietor. Now, who is a proprietor? A proprietor is basically the owner. Okay, in layman's term, he is the owner. Okay, he is the businessman. He is the owner. Okay, so a proprietor is the owner who looks after the business, who carries on his business. And as I told you, a proprietor is a different person and a business is a different person. Say for example, there is this man whose name is R and he is doing his business R and Company. So R is a proprietor and R and Company is a business or basically a separate identity by itself. So who is a proprietor? A proprietor is the owner. A proprietor is a businessman who carries on his business and he does so in order, of course, to earn profit. That is the main motive of any businessman in order to carry on business. So that is a proprietor for you. From a proprietor, we go to the next term, which is known as a rebate. Okay. Now basically when we talk about this word rebate, it goes hand in hand with another word which is known as discount. Okay. Now basically a rebate is giving you a further discount. You make the payment, you have to pay that much less. Or also what they do is that they increase the quantity. If you buy half a kg, you are given 100 grams free or 50 grams free. So rebate is another type of concession and it should not be mixed with the word discount. We had done earlier that your discount is divided into two. Discount is divided into trade discount and cash discount. Okay, so this is rebate for you where quantity wise you will probably be given more or price wise you will have to pay a reduced amount. So this is rebate for you. So what did we do right now? We did depreciation, entity, entry, insolvent and proprietor and finally we came up to the word rebate. Okay, let's go to the next term. I think the next term will be very easy for you because I have already made a mention of it when I was doing the word insolvent. Okay, so I'm not going to write the word insolvent, I'm going to write the word solvent. I'm going to write the word solvent. Okay, as the very word solvent means the person is in a good position. His assets are greater than his liabilities. The assets are greater than the liabilities. So this person is considered to be a solvent person and he can pay off all his debts because he's got assets which he can dispose of and pay off his debts. Okay, so what did we do? Solvent. Okay, coming to the next term which we might need a little bit of more explanation. It's your financial statements. This is something which you will always prepare and this is the very aim of any accounts which you are keeping, the financial statements. Now, when we talk about this word financial statements, of course it means statements of finance. Okay, what exactly are we going to do in financial statements? You have got different types of accounts, and in that you shall be preparing things like your trading account, your profit and loss account, and of course you will be preparing your balance sheet. Later on, you learn some new statements also, like what is known as a cash flow statement, and there are other things which you can analyze. You can find out your ratios, your accounting ratios can be found out. Now this ratios is a very important concept. You won't be doing this year, but you'll be certainly doing it in your 12th standard. So ratios help you to find out certain technical aspects of a company, and how, if you want to invest in that company, is it worthwhile investing or no. Okay, so these are the various things. Of course, whenever we start with these financial statements, it's necessary that you start off with your journal. From your journal you prepare a ledger. From your ledger you prepare a trial balance. From your trial balance, what you will be doing is these three main accounts. These are also known as your final accounts. Okay, these are also known as your final accounts. But when we are talking about trading, profit and loss and balance sheet, this is the final account of your sole proprietor, a single person who's carrying on business. Okay, so just giving you a brief explanation about all of these. Your trading account basically would be involving at the factory stage, okay, where you find out your cost of goods sold, okay, and you find out your gross profit, where if your credit side is greater than your debit side, that means your incomes are more than your expenses, so what you make is a gross profit. And in the reverse case, if your debit side is more than your credit side, that means your expenses are more than your income, you're making a gross loss. Okay, this gross profit or gross loss gets carried over to this account which is known as profit and loss account. Now, profit and loss account basically are your indirect expenses and indirect incomes which you will earn in the process, and or it's also known as your administrative expenses and income, and selling and distribution expenses and income. So that comes in your profit and loss account. Again, your profit and loss account has got two sides, your debit side and your credit side. If your debit side is more, that means if your expenses is more than your income, you have a loss. The loss at the stage of profit and loss account is known as a net loss, while as the profit in case of a profit and loss account, if the credit side, that is your income side, is greater than your expense side, then we can consider to be this as a net profit. Okay, the net profit will go to the balance sheet. Your balance sheet has two very vital sides. One, your left hand side, remember L, left hand side is your liabilities and your right hand side is your assets. Okay, liabilities is what we owe the others, if we have taken a loan or if we have purchased goods on credit or any other expenses which we have to pay during the year, that could be treated as a liability. Okay, while as assets is what you own, whatever you have, things like your land, building, machinery, motor car, computer, and so on and so forth, and what others owe you, like your debtors, your bills receivable, you have to get money from outside. So that is known as your assets. And we had done the earlier bifurcation of assets. Your assets are divided into fixed and current assets. Okay, your fixed assets are also known as non-current assets, and we did that under fixed assets. There were two types, tangible and intangible. Those assets which are tangible assets, on them depreciation is charged, the value is reduced. Of course, depreciation is basically a reduction in the value because we use machinery, we use an equipment again and again that would lower down the cost of a particular asset. Okay, so these were some of the basic terms. These were some of the basic terms which we did in accounts. I advise you all to go through these terms again and again, because these terms will never leave the back of you. Okay, you need to know these terms thoroughly and you need to know their meanings also. Okay, so this is your basic accounting terms for you. This chapter finally gets over. Each of the terms required a little bit of explanation, but that is necessary because you all are absolutely new to this. Of course, we lay further emphasis and you will come to know what is the importance of each of these terms as we go into the depth about doing further accounts. Okay, if there is any difficulty, if there is any terms which you didn't understand, please get back to me. I will be ready to help. It was absolutely a pleasure putting forward all these concepts for you. Thank you so much for giving such a patient hearing. This is Vishwanath Jatin signing off. Thank you.